number 12, from West Haven, Connecticut, it is John Constantini. Outside of him, CarterofManchester.com, Carter Chevy Dodge of Manchester, the number 99, Norwich, Connecticut's Mike Manifold. On the inside of row number 2, Flanders Donut and Big A Auto Parts, Affordable Plumbing of Clinton, present Ivyton, Connecticut's Mark Panarone. Going off position number 4, it is the number 21 machine, that is Kyle James. Fifth on our field is the number 33, that's Quaker Hill, Connecticut's Chuck Rogers. Sixth starting position belongs to the number 91, that is Chris Williams of Niantic, Connecticut. Next up on the field is the number 8, Holmes Garage, I Like Davies Electric Performance Plus, bring us Wood River Junction's William Leonard. Sixth on our field is the number 65, that is Richard Brooks of Groton, Connecticut. Ninth is to the number 88, Groton, Connecticut's David Sylvia, and the Garbo Lobster Salem Liquor Henry Marine, sponsored number 88. Next on our field, we'll have the number 54, that is Jeffrey Miller from Westbrook, Connecticut. On the inside of row number 6 will be the 34, that is Benjamin Bargnesi from Norwich, Franklin Street Car Wash, Teague's Auto Machine, sponsor that entry. Then we have the number 11, that is Ken Cassidy from Lisbon, Connecticut. Going off in position number 13 will be the 37, GCR Specialties Dunkey Cooling and Heating Extramart, bring us Joe Godbout from Hope Valley, Rhode Island. 14th on our field is the number 81, that is Philip Evans from Uncasville. Next we have the number 18, he's the man who sits atop the point parade. It is Deep River's Danny Field, driving the St. Pierre Builders Roger Allison Angel Graphics sponsored entry. Then we have the number 50, that is Scott Belisle.
He's gonna have to go on real fast to get by any of us.
That's a word from Tommy Fox. He's pretty happy with his run tonight as he comes home in second with the number 47 car. Matt, Dave?
Jimmy Warner has given the go-ahead to our talented field, and it's John Constantini who gets the upper hand over Mike Manifold. Mark Panarone is in the mix as they head down the back stretch.
Constantini leads the charge into turn number 3. Manifold in the second spot. Panarone sits third. Here comes Kyle James on the outside, but it's Uncle Buck Chuck Rogers who'll grab that spot from the 21 machine.
Chris Williams making something happen on the outside as he gets past Bill Leonard in car number 8. Uncle Buck making a good, bold, dive-bombing move underneath Kyle James to get himself into the number 4 position. We have a challenge for the lead. Let's see if Manifold can make it stick on the outside.
And also looking to make it work is the 51 of Panarone.
Trouble for Rogers, hitting Leonard, hitting Ken Cassidy in trouble. Cassidy, our leader last week, is in the middle of a 3-way fracas.
As we look to stay under green flag, all those cars fire up as Chuck Rogers is back on track. It is Constantini with the lead, and still Panarone and Manifold battle for the second spot with Kyle James right behind.
Kyle James, one of the most improved drivers in the division. He is being trailed by the 91 of Chris Williams, and Rich Brooks, who has had a very frustrating year, has invaded the top 6 cars.
Now Panarone has made the move on the 99 of Manifold. He'll go to second. Kyle James takes up the charge and the battle with Manifold. Now he'll slide to the inside of Panarone and look to get the second spot.
And let's see if he can pull off the move. Things are looking good for Kyle James as he swishes his way into the number 2 position, and Rich Brooks is on the move early. Normally, Rich Brooks likes to lay back and let the race come to him. Tonight, he is on the attack.
John Constantini has held the lead since lap 1, but now the pressure is beginning to mount as the 21 of Kyle James and the 65 of Richard Brooks look to close in on our leader.
Back is Manifold trying to bury his way underneath the 51 car of Panarone. He is able to pull it off, and Dave Sylvia trying to move. So is a wild man, Danny Field. Sparks are flying at the front. Kyle James making a bid for the lead. They sizzle their way into the 4th turn. New leader, Kyle James.
James leads the way, but right there also grabbing the second spot, the 65 of Richard Brooks. Constantini drops to 3rd, and the battle for 4th is between the 99 of Manifold, the 88 of Sylvia, and here comes Danny Field. He'll go to 5th.
In free fall is Mike Manifold as he loses a couple of positions, is in danger of losing another one to Joe Godbout. Meanwhile, the plot thickens at the front. Kyle James is out ahead, but it is Rich Brooks. He can almost do chin-ups on the back bumper of the 21 car as they rattle their way off the fourth corner.
We are halfway home for Kyle James. Those two cars, Kyle James and Richard Brooks, have a 3-car length lead over the 12 of Constantini, and then a pack of cars, the 88 of Silva, the 18 of Field, and the 37 of Joe Godbout.
Good move by Jeff Miller as he just got underneath Panarone. Here is the battle for the lead. James has it, but close enough to yank the steering wheel out of the car is Richard Brooks. He is trying to nudge, lunge, jab his way ahead. Here is Richard Brooks taking over the lead.
Side by side off turn number 4, it is Richard Brooks by inches as they cross this time through. Kyle James in second, and the battle still rages now as Dave Sylvia has gotten the third, and Danny Field fourth, and Joe Godbout looks to jettison into the 5th position.
Slingshot move by Kyle James to get the lead back, but Richard Brooks was prepared for it. Joe Godbout, as usual, might have the fastest car on the track. He just blurred his way underneath Constantini to join his friends at the top 5. Good battle for 3rd and 4th. Dave Sylvia, who has dropped all the way to 4th in the point standings, is trying to hold off and survive that battle against the wild man, Danny Field.
The battle continues for the lead as Kyle James looks to find a way around the 65 of Brooks. Those two cars have opened up a 5-car length lead for the battle for 3rd spot between Danny Field and David Sylvia.
Now trying to get underneath a manifold is flying Phil Evans. So he will try to become a factor in the final 5 laps of this one, but the action is at the front. Richard Brooks got the lead with 9 to go. Randy Johnston goes to the access road, and the battle continues to rage between Brooks and James.
Just 4 laps left for Richard Brooks as they go into turn number 1. Kyle James takes a peek on the inside. He'll fall back in line. Those two cars, 1-2 into turn number 3.
Sylvia maintaining his 3rd place status over Danny Field with Joe Godbout in 5th. We'll see if Kyle James, he came very close to a win earlier in the season. Yellow out, car against, as our cars are ready. And the green flag is out. It is Richard Brooks maintaining his advantage.
Brooks grabs the lead, and David Sylvia is on his back bumper now, looking to get underneath the 21 of James, but James gets a run, and he will pull even with a 65 in turn 3.
The brightest flip on the radar screen might be Danny Field in car number 18, pulling even with Sylvia, looking for some leverage on the outside. He is climbing over the back bumper of Kyle James. It doesn't get more exciting than this. Brooks on the bottom, Kyle James on the outside.
The top 5 cars in a 2-lap shootout as they come off turn number 4. It is the 65 of Brooks, the 21 of James. Brooks with the lead as they go into turn number 1. David Sylvia, Danny Field, and Joe Godbout. 5 cars looking for the checker flag. It is Richard Brooks with the lead in turn 3. James fighting back on the outside of the 21. Sylvia behind him. 3/8 of a mile left. Look to go 3 wide in turn number 1. Sylvia to the inside, James to the outside, Brooks in the middle. They'll go down the backstretch. Now James will fall off the pace. Here comes Danny Field, David Sylvia, Richard Brooks. Brooks off turn number 4. He will drag race to the checkered flag. It'll be Richard Brooks. Second is the
He made his move early, taking the lead from Kyle James with about 9 laps to go, and pulling away at the finish. And he worked very hard to make this happen as he gets ready to climb out of the race. First win of the season for the driver of car number 6, second win of the season, for the driver of car number 65. But it's been a struggle lately, and he really rose to the occasion tonight. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of tonight's 20-lap mini-stock feature, Richard Brooks. Well, Richard, it has been a struggle recently. How did you turn things around tonight?
Well, we did some homework this week, and I think we finally got what it takes. We definitely needed this for the team. We're in a little slump there, and I think we got it turned around now. Hopefully we'll be here a few more times before the end of the season.
And it looked like you were really aggressive in the beginning of the race. Was that part of the plan?
Well, I knew getting to the front was real important, and so we just charged hard and got up there, and it was a very clean race. It was excellent.
So here he is, one of the most successful mini-stock drivers
in the history of the Speedball, getting his second win of the season, Richard Brooks.